Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a video that I've been wanting to film for a very long time. I just never got around to do it, mostly because, well, obviously by the title the video is a draw my life. So if you don't know what a draw my life is, it's basically you draw out your life. You do it with like stick figures and like you draw it on a little whiteboard. You tell your story. And I was always like, what? Like, that just seems so long. Like, I feel like I have so much to say. Like, how am I going to draw all that out? So what I'm going to do today is just talk out my life. I'm still going to name it the Draw My Life because that's what most people know it as. But I'm basically just going to talk about it, explain to you guys my life story. And yeah, because I've just never really, like, talked about myself like that, or just explained to you guys everything, like where I came from, how I grew up, my family and all of that. So I think it'll be very interesting. I'm excited to tell you guys about it, and I hope you guys are excited to hear about it. I'm already out of breath and I just started this video. Okay, sorry guys, I hope you're not disappointed that I'm not drawing it out. I don't really see a huge like problem with that. I like hearing more about their life instead of seeing the drawing, so I hope you guys don't mind. But anyways, let's get started. So I didn't plan this video out. I don't have like any notes. I'm basically just gonna go off of what I remember from my life. I have a very bad memory, plus I have pregnancy brain right now, so it's even worse. So I'm gonna tell you guys the most important parts of my life, what I remember most and everything. Okay, so first of all, let me start off by saying I'm Cassandra Perez. My middle name is Guadalupe, so my full name is Cassandra Guadalupe Perez. So that's my full name for those of you who did not know. So I am 20 years old as of right now. I turned 21 this year. I was born in October 1997, October 28th. That is my birthday. So yeah, I'm 20 years old. So I am the youngest out of 6 children. I'm gonna just get this out there because I know a lot of you guys have questions about this, and I just rather just get it over with, explain to you guys a little bit about my family. I do have a confusing little family, but I'm gonna explain to you guys, and hopefully you guys understand, and hopefully your questions are answered after this. So like I said, I am the youngest of 6. So my mom was married before she met my dad. So with her first husband, she had 3 kids. That is my oldest sister, Nikki. Then comes my brother, Jose. Then comes Lily, my sister. So she had 3 kids with him. So that makes us half sisters and half brothers. A lot of you guys were like kind of confused about why we had different last names. Are we stepsisters, stepbrothers? So I hope that answers your questions. We are half, so we are related by blood. We're not step, we're half. But yeah, that's obviously why they have a different last name than I do. So that's them 3. Then comes another brother that I have that you guys I don't think have ever met or seen in my vlogs or anything. There's a brother I have on my dad's side, just my dad. So he is also my half brother, not step. We are related by blood as well. So that's 4. Then comes my brother Junior, and then me. So us 2, we're fully related. My mom and dad did have us together, so he is the only brother that I have fully. Everyone else is half. But let me tell you guys that I never ever in my life tell anyone like that's my half sister. I'll consider each other just like a regular sister. I mean, we are like we're blood. Just because it's with another dad, like it's not a big deal to us. Like we literally see each other as like regular sisters. We're all so close and we all just love each other so much, and we're just, yeah. So like I said, I hope that explained to you guys. You guys were saying, how is that possible? You guys aren't related when you guys look so much alike. We don't really look alike. I don't think I look like any of my sisters or brothers. I look more like my dad's side of the family, and I think they look more like my mom. So I don't think we look alike. Also, fun fact, I am supposed to have another brother with my mom and dad. My mom had a stillbirth, so that would have been older than my brother Junior, which my parents had named him Jesus, and then it would have been my brother Junior and then me. So like I said, guys, complicated family, but so loving and caring. We all love each other so much, and we're just all so close. So yeah, I got that out of the way. So now let's get into my life story. So like I said, I'm the youngest. I guess you could say I'm the spoiled one. I'm the baby of the family. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. When I grew up, I feel like I was kind of left out, because you know, you're the youngest, everyone kind of picks on you. But when I was born, we lived in a trailer on a ranch. My dad worked at this ranch. My dad had worked at this ranch for years and years and years. So I lived in that trailer up until maybe I was like 3 years old. But basically, I grew up around horses and animals. My dad has always been a huge horse lover. My grandpa was a huge horse lover, so I think that's where my dad gets it from. And he just grew up around horses. He's owned horses in the past. He races them and stuff like that. So that's basically where I grew up, on a ranch, around horses, around animals, riding them. I remember we had pigs like on the side of the house. And we did have dogs at one point. I don't know if I was born already, but my mom does not like dogs, if you did not know that. So we have never had dogs since then. I don't know, I think that dog ran away or like got ran over or something. How sad. But we've never had dogs since then. That's a fun fact. And I always wanted a dog. Like, I begged my parents. My mom's allergic, plus she doesn't like them, even though she doesn't admit it. She does not like them. So sadly, I never got to get a dog, but in the future I definitely will. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, so that's where I grew up. And then, like I said, up until I was around 3, we moved down to a house. It was like right down the hill from that little house. So we moved into like a little bigger house with like an actual backyard. I still don't remember much at that house. I was still very small. I do remember like some birthday parties we'd have, and just like little clips in my mind. I remember always being in my sister's room and Lily's room, always like listening to music and dancing and being on her computer. But like I said, I don't remember much from there. I do remember we had a hamster. It was my brother's hamster. And then we had a goose. Is that what it's called? A goose? We literally got a goose, and we kept it in the backyard. It was this huge cage, but the top was open. So it was this huge like cage. Don't think it was small. Like, we didn't keep him in a little corner. It was big. Like, it took up like a big part of the yard. And one day he just flew away from the top. Like, I don't know what my parents were thinking. I don't think they really wanted to keep it like long term. I think it was just because my brother really wanted that goose. But one day it just like flew up out of the cage. I also remember we had motorcycles, which I'm going to get into in a second, because that's another thing I spent a lot of my childhood doing. So we had a quad, and my grandma then lived in the trailer we used to live in. So she lived at the top of the hill and we lived at the bottom. So one day my parents wanted my brother and I to take my grandma something. So we got onto the motorcycle and we were going up this hill, and a branch ended up getting stuck in the tire. So my brother got off. He was driving because I was like a little bit younger. And he was like, hold this. All I had to do was hold the brake. That's my only job. That's all I had to do. He was like, hold this, don't let go, because we were on a hill. If I were to let go, the motorcycle would go back and led past my house into the street. So there was a gate, which I probably would have crashed into, but still, either way, it's dangerous, you know. So I was holding it while he was taking the branch out, and for like a couple seconds I ended up letting go. I don't know if I wanted to see what would happen or what. I was just dumb. I ended up letting go for a couple seconds, but I went down a little and then I got the brake again. And my brother started crying, like hysterically crying, like he was so scared for me. And my parents ran out and they came up the hill. They're like, what's wrong? I just remember that was funny and so cute. Like, oh, my brother actually cares about me. So yeah, it's funny. But anyways, that does lead me into the fact that motorcycles camping was a huge part of my childhood as well. I've spent like half of my life freaking camping. My dad is a huge fan of camping. I used to camp out in tents, then my dad slowly started getting like trailers, and we've gotten like different types of trailers. But we'd go to different campsites, and it was either like just camping, like literally in tents, barbecuing, or we would go to like the desert and take the motorcycles and like camp out in the desert in like trailers and stuff. So I literally grew up on motorcycles, riding motorcycles. Literally since I could remember, I've been on a motorcycle. If I couldn't drive it on my own sorry, my voice. If I couldn't drive it on my own, I was with my dad on a motorcycle, and then he eventually got me like a little motorcycle for me, like it was a little one for kids, and then I like slowly upgraded. But yeah, we'd go to the desert, we'd go to different places. Sometimes we went to the snow. Sometimes we'd go to Rosarito. If you don't know where that is, it's like past Tijuana. We'd go up there to the beach and we'd camp out in the trailer, and there was like sand dunes, and we'd like be all up in there. Like it was just like, it was so fun. I don't enjoy it as much now. We still go and I still ride the motorcycles, but I am just like, camping, like really? I don't know, I guess it's just different when you have kids. Now that Maricela's older, it's a little bit easier, but now this little guy's gonna come. I do think it would be really cute for him to ride motorcycles and go camping and stuff. I mean, for Maricela too, for both of them. It was a big part of my childhood, so I think it should be a part of theirs. Even though we don't go to Rosarito anymore, but that was my favorite place to go to because there was the beach, and then you go to camp, and then you could go on the motorcycles, so it was just really fun. What else did I do in my childhood? I remember always hanging out with Lily. I would always go with her to babysit because that was like her second job, or like side job. So I'd always be going with her everywhere, to all these different houses and just hanging out with her. I always remember riding in the car with her and playing music and just having so much fun. And then Nikki, I would hang out with my sister Nikki a lot too. She would take us places. She took me to get my nails done for the first time. Junior and I have always been really close, I think because we are closer together. We are 4 years apart, and then my older brothers and sisters were already like in and out of the house, but they were, for the most part, they were out of the house, and they are a lot older than me, so I did grow up with Junior, and we were just always so close. And so I lived in that house up until, I want to say I was like 6 years old. I'm not positive, but I think around 6. Then we ended up moving cities, and we came to this house where I live now. So my parents bought this house, and it was just a huge like difference. Like I remember coming here and I was like, wow, this place is like crazy. So for that first year, I kept going to school in my old city. So we live here, and we literally have to drive all the way over there until I finished school. And then in 2nd grade, I started going to school here, and just the people were so different, and like the environment. Elementary school, I loved to sing and dance. I was always singing and dancing and making up dances in my room with my friends. And I want to say this lasted a long time, up until like middle school. In 6th, 7th, I don't know if 8th grade, I was in choir at school. And then in 7th grade, I want to say that's when I started going like downhill. I was such a good girl up until then. In middle school, I definitely did start hanging out with the wrong crowd, the wrong people, which I like totally regret now. Such a waste of time, such a waste of a life and childhood. But in 8th grade, I want to say 8th grade was definitely my toughest year for myself, for my parents. I put my parents through a lot that year. I just kept doing things. I kept getting in trouble. Like I said, wrong freaking people. Like I wish I hadn't have met those people. I could do a story time all about that, but in 8th grade, just a lot of things happened, and bullying came in. Am I really getting emotional right now? What's going on here? Yeah, bullying came into place in 8th grade. I was having like such a great year, and then all of a sudden like a turn of events happened. Like, bullying and depression. I got very, very depressed, and that lasted up until high school. I don't remember, I want to say up until like my sophomore year. It lasted a long time, and I didn't really know like at the time that I was depressed, but now that I think about it, it's like wow, like I was so depressed. And it's honestly really sad because I mean, you're so young and you're figuring yourself out, and and I never asked anyone for help. I never really told my parents anything. I never told them like I wanted to go to counseling or something, or like I didn't feel right. I'm not even gonna lie, like suicide did come into mind. I just always thought like no matter what I do or where I go, like kids are always gonna pick on me. Like it doesn't matter if I, like this is the mind of like a 13-year-old. No matter what state I go to, like they're gonna know me, they're gonna pick on me, like other kids are gonna tell them to pick on me. I'm always gonna get picked on. Nothing's gonna get better my whole life. Like I'm never gonna have friends. Like it was just really sad, and it was a very sad time for me. And the only thing I do remember telling my parents is that I wanted to be homeschooled. I didn't want to go to school, and I would always tell them that, and my parents were just never for it, especially my mom. She said no, like you're never going to be homeschooled, like no matter how much I told them. And I don't know if I was kind of embarrassed to tell them exactly what was happening with kids at school. Maybe if I would have told her, then maybe she could have changed me schools, or maybe I would have been homeschooled. But yeah, you guys, I could do a whole story literally on what happened in middle school, how the bullying started. It's a rough topic for me, not gonna lie, but I'll do it. You know, I'm an adult now. It's been years and years, so I think it's fine to talk about it now. But yeah, anyways, depression did come into place in 8th grade, and I want to say it lasted up until sophomore year, and it was on and off. Like I would be better some days, and then some days it would hit me like really hard. Cutting did come into place as well, which was just so dumb. That did last a while. I was terrified to go into high school. I wasn't excited about it at all, which was another thing that sucked. Like it's supposed to be such an awesome experience, and it was just horrible for me. I remember that first day, like I literally was pooping my pants. Like my stomach was in knots. I did not want to go to school. I did not want to see people's faces, and slowly I started getting better. I started making new friends. You know, it's not as bad as you think, but it was hard. So anyways, towards the middle of my freshman year, that is when I met Dario, and that is when my life changed for the best, of course. I'm not gonna lie, we did have a rocky relationship, and if anyone from high school were to watch this, I'm sure they'd be like, what the hell, how are they still even together? Because I feel like everyone in this town knew about Dario and I, and our drama and everything that happened in our freaking relationship. So Dario and I went through a lot, and I feel like that comes with meeting so young. We did meet very young. I was 12 or 13, I want to say, maybe probably 13, and he was probably like 15. I was a freshman. Was he a junior? Like I said, we met young, we were immature, a lot of things happened, and it was very hard, lots of ups and downs, and it was just, oh my gosh, craziness. Our relationship has been freaking crazy. But anyways, 2 years later into our relationship, that is when Marisela was conceived. I became pregnant. I was technically pregnant at 15. I did turn 16 about 3 weeks later, so I just say I was 16. But this was my junior year, so I kept going to school pregnant. It was hard, so many stairs. There was like 1 or 2 other girls at my school pregnant at that time, so I wasn't like the only one, but it was still very awkward. Teachers look at you different, obviously. Kids, like, yeah, so I kept going to school until I was like 6 or 7 months pregnant. Then I switched to homeschooling. I had Maricela July 2014. So during the summer of becoming a senior, and then I was homeschooled my whole senior year, and I did graduate that year. I graduated on time. I got my diploma with my baby girl. That is a huge accomplishment for me. It wasn't easy, you guys, but I know it was a decision I made, and I knew it was something I had to do. I had to be responsible. I was thinking about my future, my daughter's future, and everything like that. So I started college last August, so it's about to be a year already. I just ended the semester, and I'm here, you guys. I found out I was pregnant in January of this year. I'm like 7.5 months pregnant. 7 months pregnant. I don't know, I get confused. But I'm gonna be 30 weeks this week. Freaking crazy. My pregnancy is flying by, and I'm just so excited for the future, to move out, to finally live with my family, to see what it's like having 2 kids. I'm just so excited for him to be here. And Dario and I are now going on to 7 years. We'll be together 7 years in December. So yeah, you guys, that's it. That's basically all I can tell you guys about my life. I know I missed so many parts, but there's only so much I can talk about in so little time, and this video is already so long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any more questions, leave them down below and I'll be sure to answer. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.